What if I told you there is a fleet in Warhammer 40K more terrifying than any Chaos Armada or Tyrannid Hive fleet? A fleet that doesn't conquer worlds, it harvests them. Ships that arrive in silence, take the gifted away, and vanish into the void, with almost nobody returning. These are the Emperor's Black Ship, and they are the reason the Astronomical still burn, and why thousands of psykers die every single day just to keep these lights shining. Today, we are diving into the darkest supply chain in the Imperium, how black ships work and what really happens on board, and why this might be the Emperor's greatest sin. Welcome back. We're gonna dig into the strangest and most disturbing corners of Warhammer 40k lore. Last time we talked about the mysteries of the Imperium tried to erase. This time, we're talking about the ones he quietly maintains. Because the black ships aren't a glitch in the system, they are the system. Let's start with what the Imperium tells the people about them. On paper, the black ships belong to the Adeptus Astra Telepathica, specifically the League of Black Ships. Ask to an Imperial citizen, and even if they heard the name, they'll say something like that those ships they take dangerous psychs away to be trained for the good of the mankind. Technically, this is not wrong, just extremely incomplete. Here's the official version that the Administratum are happy for people to believe. Psykers appear randomly across the Imperium. Hive wards, agri wards, shrine wards, even feral and death wards. Local authorities, witch hunters, and Adeptus Astra Telepathica agents identify them. The black ships arrive periodically to collect the psykers from each world, and then the psykers are taken to Terra, judged, and then either sanctioned and trained as astropaths or safely destroyed if they're too unstable. Neat, controlled, almost merciful. But when you start putting the lore pieces together, the reality looks much more like a traveling horror story stretched across thousands of light years. Imagine you are a low-level psychic in a hive city. You don't have a title, you barely have a number. You just know that sometimes your dreams come true, and sometimes the walls whisper back. And then one day people are dragged into the streets. Priests chant against witchcraft. Maybe sanctioned psyker or a local telepathica adept walks through the crowd, feeling for the wrong kind of thought. Anyone who reacts to the psyker text, a relic, a ritual, even just the presence of another psyker is marked. And then the black ships arrives. There is no cheering crowd, no banners, just a colossal, lightless shape hanging in orbit, watched nervously from the ground level. Shadows descend. Arches opens, doors slams. Family screams as their children, their parents, their siblings are taken away in chains, dragged, or hoarded to stop them from seeing or from manifesting. Some wards try to hide their psyches. That is heresy. Canon lore is very clear. Concealing psykers from Imperium is a death sentence from individuals and sometimes from the entire communities. Because here's the truth. The black sheep don't recruit. They don't ask. They harvest. Every latent psyker is an asset, a risk to their planet, and a resource to the Imperium. The Imperium knows it needs a constant flow of psykers to sustain its system, from the astropod to the Golden Throne, and it will have the flow no matter the cost. So what happens once the hatches close and the ship translates into the void? Most Imperial citizens probably imagine some kind of training voyage, lectures, discipline, maybe a stern but kind psyker mentor. But the lore paints a much harsher picture. Each black ship can be carrying thousands of psykers, many of them untrained, unstable, terrified, and already hearing the whispers of the warp. To keep them contained, these bastards are described as heavily warded and brutally controlled. Accounts from various sources and novels give us a sense of what that looks like. Psykers confined in cells in the dark. Constant chants in the air, not to comfort, but to drown out the whispers. Sanctioned psykers and telepathica staff constantly monitoring for signs of corruption, possession, or uncontrolled manifestation. And when someone loses control, officially they are put down or neutralized. In practice, that can mean anything from execution by bolt round or lace fire to being reduced to ash by mobs powerful psykers. The important part is this: many psykers never even reach Terra. By the time a black ship completes this long dangerous travel through the warp, a significant number of its human cargo are dead, killed by their own powers, by demonic interference or by the Imperium's attempts to keep the rest of the cargo alive. And for the survivors, the real horror hasn't even started yet. And if you reach this far, make sure you hit subscribe for more Warhammer 40K secrets. Here's where we hit the core of the nightmare. Why does the Imperium need so many psykers in the first place? Yes, some of them are generally put to useful work. Many are broken, blinded, and soul-bound to the Emperor to become astropaths, the psychic communication network of the Imperium. Some serve in the Astra Militarum as sanctioned battle psykers. Others end up in the Inquisition, navigator houses, or other specialized roles. But canon sources also make it clear, a vast number of psykers are sacrificed to sustain the Golden Throne and the Astronomican. The Golden Throne, the vast techno relic on Terra, is what keeps the Emperor's shattered body alive and his will projected through the warp. The Astronomican, the psychic lighthouse that makes warp travel possible, is powered by a chore of psykers and the Emperor presence. And both of these things are fed by human souls. The exact daily numbers have shifted across the edition and often left vague, but the constant theme is this: every single day, enormous numbers of psykers are ritually sacrificed to keep the Astronomican burning. Over 10,000 years of this process, you're looking at a psychic graveyard on a scale that's honestly hard to comprehend. And this isn't some secret chaos ritual or a fringe cult in the hives. This is the Imperial policy. Official, organized, routine. The man who once stood against gods and rejected religion has become the center of a system that literally burns human souls to keep his light alive. Every black ship is, in effect, a tanker carrying refined psychic fuel for Terra. Most of the people trapped on board never get a name, never get a role, never get to be remembered. They just go into the throne account. Here's the question that haunts a lot of lore nerds. Did the Emperor know it would come to this? We know from canon that the Golden Throne predates the heresy. It began as a part of the Emperor's attempt to create a human webway, a way for humanity to travel the stars without touching the warp at all. That project failed, but at some point the decision was made. Psykers would be fed into the system to keep it running. Was that always the plan? Or was it a desperate compromise made by these followers when everything fell apart? In a setting full of demons and xenosaurus, the black sheep are almost worse, because there's nothing more inhuman about them. No chaos god demanded this. This is the choice made by human beings in the Emperor's name, and apparently with this continued presence at the center of it. So why doesn't the Imperial just stop it? What if somehow the League of Black Sheep vanished tomorrow? No more psykers, tithes, no more screaming coals, no more sacrifices. On a single planet in the short term, that might look like a miracle, but on a galactic scale, it would be a slow motion collapse. Without a constant supply of psykers, the astronomical wolves begin to dim. As its power faded, long-range warp jumps would become more and more dangerous, and eventually impossible for most ships. Imperial fleets would be stranded, cut off, or lost. Civilization on distant worlds would become isolated, unable to communicate or call for help. And of course, without proper control and sanctioning, rogue psykers would still appear on every world, only now there's no central system to deal with them. The uncomfortable truth that Lord keeps circling back to this is this: the Imperium is addicted to suffering. He has built an entire civilization on a bargain that he can't afford to break. Endless human sacrifice in exchange for just enough light to stagger on one more millennium. The black ships are the veins feeding that bargain. Is it evil? Yes. Is it necessary in a universe for the Imperium to keep functioning the way it does? Also yes. And that tension between survival and damnation is exactly what makes Warhammer 40K so compelling. So what do you think? Are the black ships the Emperor's greatest sin, or is only realistic option in the galaxy that's already doomed? Is this a necessary evil, or the clearest proof that the Imperium is spiritually no better than the cultists that it claims to hate? Drop your thoughts in the comment down below. I read all of them, and I'm always hunting for the weird deep cuts. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the 40K's darker system, hit like and subscribe for more Warhammer 40K secrets. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.